How do we look at our past and look at change in a healthier way rather than a negative way?
I think one of the things that you're talking about is this idea of having really in-depth psychotherapy and having to like uncover every trauma in your life to like get to the point where you're healed enough to move forward. I am obviously a fan of therapy, for many reasons, but I don't particularly think that you have to uncover every trauma in your life to, be able to move forward. The career change that I made, in fact, was to coaching. So coaching tends to be more forward-looking, more, sort of positive-looking, unless there's, some kind of major trauma. I don't think it's necessary to dig everything up in like years of psychotherapy. But there are some sort of models in science that can be quite useful for people, whether, it could just be self-discovery. So there's one called Ghosts in the Executive Suite. And that talks about the childhood systems that you grew up in and the fact that the wiring that was embedded in the first 7 and then also the first 14 years of your life are likely to be very non-conscious now in adulthood, but still driving a lot of your behaviors. And so the business side of that is called In the Executive Suite because it's looking at CEOs who are behaving in a certain way because of those. But it can apply to anyone's life. And it looks at things like the boundaries and the values and the secrets and the sort of identities that you had as a child. So, you may have had a home where everyone was welcome to drop in and they would just be added into the family meal and they could stay the night. And I may have been, grown up in a home where you had to plan everything in advance. If someone was coming over, then, the people would make sure there was enough food and make sure that a bed was made in advance and all this kind of thing. And then, values tends to be a lot around money. So, you may have grown up in a household where people say money is a bad thing. It's not good to have too much of it. Even in many religions, they say that if you're excessively wealthy, that your chances of going to heaven are kind of lower. So, there's a lot of that rhetoric in our society. Identification is about things like, oh, you're just like your father, or you're just like, your uncle used to be. Secrets is, we never talk about that alcoholic uncle kind of thing. And roles includes things like, were you the peacemaker, were you the go-between? And all of those sorts of things may influence you later in life without you realizing it.
Yes.
But there is self-exploration and, other work that you can do with people to help you uncover that.